What's up, Guardians? Peace and Grease here, and haven't made a Destiny 2 video in a while, and I kind of wanted to talk about some things that were on my mind. So I'm going to apologize if I'm rambling a little bit in this video, um, but like I said, there's a bunch on my mind here. So let me start off with saying that there's something to be said for old gamers. Um, I've spent almost, 40 years of my life gaming, and this enables me to see patterns that a lot of people tend to overlook, right? I may not be a developer, I may not be able to use your terminology, but I can see patterns, and it's very simple to see them coming. You think of a game like Concord, for example. What if EA had brought in a blind panel of gamers and got their opinion? EA could have been warned, yeah, this is going to be a failure. It's going to be a failure. And when I point out some of the predictions that I've made, for example, different developer, but it serves my point. When we talk about Elder Scrolls Online from Bethesda, when Bethesda announced that, I went to groups, I went to forums, and I was trying to tell everybody, don't play this, don't tell Bethesda you want this, don't spend any money on it. And everyone told me to shut the hell up. I didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, well, I know this, that if it is even marginally well received, Bethesda's never going to stop bilking that game. And it's going to be 10 to 20 years before we see another single player Elder Scrolls game. And, surprise, here we are. The last single player Elder Scrolls game we had was Skyrim. Yeah, it's 2025, halfway through 2025 at this point. I said the same thing about Fallout 76. I said, don't buy it, don't play it, don't tell Bethesda you want this. Again, people told me to shut up. I didn't know what I was talking about. I said, okay, it'll be 10 to 20 years before we see another single player Fallout game. Here we are. I mean, Bungie's not even close to giving us a single player Fallout game. They're still working on a single player Elder Scrolls game, and they're probably not that far along because we haven't seen any information at all about it. So, yeah, it's going to be a few years. Quite a lot. All of this to say that these are all patterns that I've seen before. I've seen them come, I've seen them go, I've seen them come back, and so on and so forth. This is why when Bungie announced they wanted to go to an episodic system some time ago, I made it clear then. I've seen this happen before. You're going to have to go balls out. It can't be the typical seasonal bullshit we've been seeing forever now. It's going to have to be new. It's going to have to be fresh. No copy-paste stuff. Well, unfortunately, the episodic system just became more seasons. And of course, it wasn't well received, and it didn't do well. So yeah, I hate to be the asshole to say I told you so, but yeah, here we are. I bring this up because I predicted in that video that we would be going back to expansions again. How did I know that? Was it a lucky guess? No, because I'd watched it happen in other games, like Warframe, for example. All of this to say that developers need to listen to what their players are saying. Understand them. Hear what they're saying. Understand them. Don't just make it an old platitude, an old tired platitude. Now, there's good news though. And I gotta give Bungie props for this because apparently, trust me, it shocks me more than anyone else. Apparently, Bungie watched my shitty little YouTube channel. Now, why do I assume this? Well, because I've made it clear in videos that the Guardian rank system is, well, to put it mildly, underwhelming. Well, Bungie's taken a look at that now. That's a good thing. Not only that, I've made it clear that we need a daily login reward system. Encourage players to log in. Why? Because if players are logged in, they're likely to play the game versus not being logged in at all. They're probably not likely to just randomly hop on and start playing if they're not already on it. And then I also made it clear that during events, we need to have access to those old Eververse cosmetics. It's not as if people are buying them. And guess what? For Rights of the Nine, we're getting a Nunnery Manifold Engram that's going to contain old Eververse cosmetics. So I do want to give Bungie props for listening. Not just listening to me, but hearing why I was making these suggestions. Now, let's be clear. Do I think that this is going to, quote, save Destiny 2? No. Only one thing can do that. And that is Bungie prioritizing this game. Period. The end. They're going to have to prioritize this game. They're going to have to keep this game eventful. They're going to have to keep rolling out different new weapons, new armor, new activities, new events. It's going to have to continually and steadily roll. It has to. It has to be prioritized because, again, I called out that cyclical pattern that Bungie has been in for years now. I called that out in a video as well. If you don't know the pattern because you didn't watch that video, don't be surprised. I don't think anybody watches my videos, so it's okay. Um, Listen, I know more than anyone else that I have a shitty little YouTube channel, and I'm fine with that. See, I'm kind of like that hole in the wall like biker bar. That's what my YouTube channel is, right? Like I'll punch you in the mouth, but then I'll buy you a beer after. That's my YouTube channel, right? Like I want to help people. That's kind of the whole reason why my channel was even born in the first place. So I think what's going to have to happen in order to air quote save this game. I hate that term. I hate that, but is that Bungie's going to have to prioritize this game and put everything else aside. You know, and don't get me wrong. If you have free time, like with Marathon, for example, fine, work a little bit on it, right? Work a little bit on it. Oh, we need to do something new for Destiny 2. Prioritize that. Now, granted, that's going to probably take you 10, 12 years to get a new game out, but there are benefits to doing that. First of all, your money maker, Destiny 2, you keep it going because you have to. And on the side, you work on whatever little project you want, like Marathon. And you don't release it half-baked because it's going to take longer. It'll give you time to perfect those things, right? And I think that that's really what's going to have to happen. In case you're wondering, the cyclical pattern that Bungie's been stuck in is content creators start making videos about a content drought, numbers start dropping. Bungie goes, oh crap, what do we do? And they release an expansion, right? Destiny 2 content creators start making videos like Destiny 2 is saved, and they start consuming that content, right? All is right with the world. Everyone's happy. But then we fall back into that lull again where there's nothing to do. The content's been consumed. And of course, we're in a content drought again, right? So that's the pattern. And that pattern, and again, I made it clear that you cannot fall into that pattern if you're going to an episodic system. You can't. But unfortunately, Bungie went right back into that pattern again, which is another reason, in my opinion, why the episodic system failed. But I do want to give props for Bungie for actually hearing my reasons for making the suggestions that I did. Now, I don't know what the future holds for Edge of Fate. Obviously, there's a lot riding on this, and I think we all know that. And I really hope to God that Bungie knows that. And I'm hoping that if Bungie watches my shitty little YouTube channel and they're actually hearing what I'm trying to say and listening to what I'm saying, hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm hoping that this expansion, and I got to be honest, I'm hoping that this expansion is going to be really, really good. I hope it's going to be great. I know a lot of content creators get a bad rap for hating the game or wanting the game to fail. I can't speak for everyone, but I can tell you that most content creators don't want the game to fail. They want the game to succeed. And they're seeing a developer going down the wrong road. And they're trying their best to call it out and say that this isn't going to work. This is going to fail. And it doesn't seem like the developers, and I'm not just referring to Bungie, but it doesn't seem like that the developers even hear what we're saying until it's too late, and then it fails, and we're like, "What are you doing? We were telling you that was going to happen. Why did you? It's kind of like a child in a hot oven burner. Like, don't put your hand on that. Don't put your hand on that." And then they put their hand on it. It's like, we could have told you that. But with that being said, I'm hoping that Bungie's turning over a new leaf and they're going to actually start hearing what their community is saying. But I mean, I also know that's difficult for Bungie because let's face facts. You ask 20 different Destiny 2 players how to fix or save Destiny 2, you're going to get 20 different answers. That's the reality. You're going to get 20 different answers. So that's the problem. That's part of the problem. You can't listen to every single person. And even the simplest ideas, in theory, seem simple, but can be far more complex to implement. And believe me, I'm not trying to defend anybody here. I'm just trying to state the obvious, right? Speaking of which, those of you that think that the game would be better off if Sony took control, no, it wouldn't. Listen, if you'd asked me like 9 years ago, 8 years ago, yeah, I would agree with you. But now, this new CEO, in my opinion, is the greediest of greedy. And I'm going to leave it at that because I can make a whole video on the problem with Sony and PlayStation right now and the scummy stuff that they do on the backside. And you know what? If you're a PlayStation fanboy and you're going to get all butthurt, save your breath. I've been supporting Sony and PlayStation longer than you've even been on this planet. So I really don't want to hear it. But again, I haven't even made the video yet, for God's sakes. And I probably won't. But I digress. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, unless you're a Sony fanboy, and then I don't want to hear it. I don't. And until next time, peace out.